and welcome back to College Life. My name is Caleb Holmes, and I'm joined today with my lovely partners, Kylie Howard.
Hey, y'all.
And Gabe DeGroot.
What's up?
Today, we have a special guest. Professor Hawk is joining us today. He's an English professor, and we are going to interview him and find out more about this mysterious man. Professor Hawk, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So today, this episode is going to be in two parts. Part one is going to be about Professor Hawk.
Okay.
And part two is going to be about a question that I have for the group. But I thought it would be more interesting if I actually get Professor Hawk's input on it.
Okay.
So let's begin. Professor Hawk, where did you attend college?
Okay. 20 years ago from the fall, I was walking these same halls here at Redlands Community College. That's where I got my start. Got my Associates of Arts, General Studies, because I had no idea what I was going to do. I had none. Went to my junior year, I transferred to Southern Nazarene University. That's where I got my bachelor's in English Ed, and then went for my master's at University of Central Oklahoma.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it.
So you stayed here in Oklahoma the most of the time?
Yes, yeah.
What were you leaning towards when you first started in your college?
Like I said, when I got here to Redlands, I actually had no idea I was even going to come to Redlands until June of 95, which is literally a month and a half before school starts. Had no idea. There was like 2 or 3 colleges out of Kansas that I was looking at, but then Redlands, as Coach Don Brown, he's the baseball coach here, he came and said, hey, would you like to play at Redlands? And it was Oklahoma. At the time, I had a girlfriend that I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do this. And so I came to Redlands, and I guess the rest is history.
So you
and
did you have a scholarship here?
I got a scholarship. Baseball, and then a little bit of academic. A little bit. So yeah, there was scholarships involved. Yes.
Okay. Well, that was my next question. While attending college, did you participate in any organizations? So
baseball.
It was baseball?
It was baseball. Again, I had no idea what I was going to do in life. I knew I wanted to play baseball in college. I had some opportunities, like I said, in Kansas, and there was one other one in Oklahoma, but I didn't want to go to Altus. I didn't want to. So baseball and more baseball. That's about it. Yeah.
Did you know Mike Tabor when you were?
Yes.
You did?
I remember the first day of school. First day I walked in the door, 8 o'clock, I walk in the main campus, first room on the left. It's Mr. Dawkins was biology, but then my 9 o'clock was U.S. history with Mike Tabor.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I can tell you, and this is true, this is all honesty, it was by far my most favorite class that I took here at Redlands. It was the one that pushed me. It was a struggle. It was hard to get that. I won't say the final grade I made. But
yeah,
it was a struggle, but he also, that's okay. This is not in high school anymore.
We know the feeling on that one.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first class.
I bet that makes me feel old now that you're his coworker. And
yeah, because I've been here, and I think you might hear this later on, but he was kind of part of the committee that kind of, as an adjunct, because I've been adjuncting here at Redlands for 10 years prior to this year becoming full-time. But yeah, it's seeing Professor Tabor in the meetings and stuff, and he brings up some of the stories back in the day, and I'm like, what happened back then stays back then. Because he probably does have some stories on us, but
that's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Tabor and Professor Rupp was here. Let's see.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Some of the staff's been here a while.
Wow, I didn't know Professor Rupp though.
Kelly taught my mom.
Yeah, she
really?
was here. Yeah. She taught my wife. I never had the pleasure of having Kelly as a professor, but I knew her. She taught my wife, and then, of course, when I started working here, she's been kind of my go-to. I love Kelly. She's great.
Yeah, she is great.
All right, so what classes do you teach here at Redlands?
Composition 1 and 2 are the 2 classes that they have me teaching. I could be teaching others, but that's the 2 they have me teaching right now.
So how many? So I know because of the budget crisis and all stuff. What is the? Are you going to be teaching more students than?
That's the rumor. I don't know. They have moved our caps up from 25 students to 30.
Right.
So there could be up to 5 more students per class.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that you do more here than just teach. Can you give us a rundown of what you do on a daily basis?
On a daily basis? Well, let me get to it this way. There's mainly 3 groups I help with other than teaching. I'll go kind of in what I feel, well, they're all important, but we'll start with this first one. I'm part of a DELT committee, which it's an acronym for something I don't know. It's mainly our distant learning, our online education. We're in a committee right now I'm in a workshop, doing a workshop, and I'm a student again, and it's terrible. I'm sorry. I feel for you guys. I really do. I'm doing an online workshop, which is how most online classes should be run. And after doing this workshop, I'm finding out that, Redlands they're doing everything right, at least online. Mm-hmm. But something we were learning from this workshop is that we can also make all of our classes, not just online, but the lecture classes and blended classes, we can make them as top-notch as we can. And that's kind of what this DELT committee, they're supposed to make sure that we are in compliance with the higher ed state regents. And so me and a few other professors that are taking this workshop, and then we're all going to work together and do some summer work together and try to get all of our online programs in compliance, in fact, at the high end, so our online education is top-notch. So that's one of the committees I'm on. Second one is the Honors Committee, which I'm with Professor Schottenkirk and a few other science faculty, Sikora, Coughlin, and Zuxworth, I believe. We're all 5. And we work together, and we're the ones that kind of oversee the honors program, which, are any of you in the honors program? I know Kylie is.
I am, yeah.
What we do is that they have to fill an application pretty much and fill out a form saying what are they going to do for an honors project so they can get that H next to their class in their on their transcript. And so we look at it to make sure that it's a good enough project. It's not just, hey, I'm going to go in for 2 extra hours a week in the tutoring center and consider that honors. No. We look at it and say, that's a cool project. Good luck with that, pretty much. Look at it, make sure it works, give it back to the professor, the students, whatever class. And then again, they have to present these projects to the committee.
Which I did not know until a couple weeks ago. So there's that.
Yeah, we've always had an honors program here at Redlands, but we're revamping it.
I was about to say I haven't had to present yet.
Yeah, we've reworded some things in the college handbook, and so we're making it it's an honors project. It needs to be a little more substantial. So we are making the students actually present.
Fine with
this
that.
first semester, since it is the first semester that we've really revamped so it's going to be a little more informal. They're just going to get in front of the committee, say, hey, here's kind of what our project was. This is what I needed to do. Here it is. What do you think? We'll look at it and say yay or nay. You get the H next year on the transcript.
Kind of
for
intimidating.
honors.
Do you have anything prepared right now?
Well, I'm working on my honors project for Professor Tabor.
What is it?
I'm doing a presentation board over World War II. I'll just condense it to World War II. It's a bunch of stuff that has to do with World War II, but we'll just leave it at that.
Didn't you tell me when you went to DC last week you saw some stuff up there?
Yeah, I was turn up, got some extra stuff to put on my board. Yeah.
I remember, you were talking, were you talking to Tabor about it earlier this week?
I talked to Sikora about it.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, you were saying you went there and you got all the stuff for your honors project. I was like, well, man, it's
going to be a lot of glitter and a lot of duct tape.
Glitter and duct tape. Boy, looking forward to that.
It's going to be real good.
So, yeah, DELT and Honors Committee. And the third one, which is really, I hold pretty dear to my heart, it is Phi Theta Kappa. Kylie's, just talking about the Washington, D.C. We just went there last week. It was exciting. The Phi Theta Kappa, it's been a new and unique experience for me. Like I said, and I tell them, I don't think they believe me, but they are pretty much a second family to me. Because I've spent more time with them.
This is our dad.
And it's true. They do. They call me dad, which is okay. But they're my second family. Because I've spent more time with them this last year than anybody else other than my real family.
You guys.
Yeah. Kylie knows. We've been 3. They're supposed to be, conferences. I call them vacation because they're really not. They're fun. They really are. These kids that I get to work with weekly, they do awesome work, and so I do hold it pretty dear to my heart.
Nice.
So, Phi Theta Kappa, I really do enjoy that.
That's so nice.
Cry.
I love it. I'm not going to cry, but I'm oh my gosh, I've never heard this before.
Yeah, Yes, and the kind of, you said that about the mysterious math. Yes, a lot of times students, they'll see me smiling, but that's usually when I'm mad and angry. And usually, it's sometimes Kylie, she'll see me bright and early at 8 in the morning, and I'll have a grumpy face, but that really doesn't mean I'm grumpy. I'm
Just waiting for his coffee.
well, that too. Might need my coffee. But yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy it. In fact, all of working with all the new members and faculty, being my first full-time, for full year full-time anyway, so just getting to know everybody's been pretty neat. But Phi Theta Kappa is pretty cool. I really enjoy that.
That's cool.
I might need a tissue, guys. This is so sentimental right now.
We didn't bring any, so
Yeah, we'll just move on.
Yeah, you're right.
As an English professor, can you give us any tips that would help students become better writers?
Better writers. First and foremost.
Is that how? Not supposed to say it like that.
No, it's good. Better writer.
I apologize.
And no, it's how to become better writers anyway. Yeah, listen to your teachers, starting from like second grade when they teach you grammar and actually learning how to write a sentence. Believe it or not, teachers know what they're talking about. But sometimes we get to college. Really, the best way. It's just like any skill. Writing is a skill, and there's only one way to get better at any skill, and that is
Practice.
there you go. And that's what I tell all the, 'cause I have a bunch of athletes and a bunch of artists and a bunch of, outside of Redlands even, musicians and play a musical instrument, how they get better at it. They got to practice it. And then I always say, how many of you go home and write?
Yep.
Exactly. So only way they can get better writing is actually writing. And so I try to instill that into my students, saying, practice writing. That's composition 1 right there. You don't want to write at home? Okay, I'm going to make you write. Here's your 6 essays that we're going to do this year. So be prepared to get practice writing. There you go. But
yeah, I feel like in Comp 1 and Comp 2, I wouldn't have been able to get all those essays done. Like, I definitely had to do a rough draft, and it was a very rough draft.
Oh, yeah. It's a
there's,
process.
There's no way I can just say, oh, here's my final draft, I'm done. I wouldn't have been able to get through it if I hadn't done it for a while.
Right.
So.
And hopefully, back in junior high and high school, that the teachers have prepared students that it is a process. It's not just here's your topic, and then they just write their paper, turn it in, think they're done. Mm-hmm. And some students are skilled enough where they can still get a fairly decent grade first time through.
Yeah, they can wing it.
They can wing it, and then you're always going to have those, but you're always going to have those natural athletes that don't have to practice as much as those that have to work. You're going to have those natural musicians who can just, here's the song, listen to it, and next thing you know, they're playing it on the piano just because they have that natural gift. Some people have a natural gift at writing. But it is something you got to work on. That's the only way you're going to get better, is practice.
Oh. All right. I try to write. I know that I'm trying to write a novel right now, and it's awful. I have it in my head, but it's hard to get it out on paper. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm practicing writing short stories.
There you go.
And then I'm writing those short stories, and then I'm having like a romance short story, and then action and
the different genres too.
Yeah.
Look at
and
you.
so I can actually practice with those. And so when the novel comes along, I can actually combine all those together.
There you go.
Good story.
Good for you.
And I try to write at least maybe, it's really sad, but I try to write at least 3 paragraphs a day, if possible. And
it's not sad at all. I'm glad you're writing. That makes me happy. No one goes home and just writes for fun anymore. It's good.
So yeah, I feel like in the first semester I've been here, I was an awful writer. Mm-hmm. And then now, since I finished Comp 2 and I'm starting to practice writing at home, I'm actually getting better at it. It's not perfect. You guys proofread my stuff, and it's awful the first time. But
there's some authors right now making a lot of money with. They have the ideas, they put it to paper, but they have their crew, their people that can look. Stephen King, he's got his editors. He admits that he's not the best speller. No, we got spell check and all that good stuff. Yeah, still not going to find all the errors. But, then that's what I tell the students, too. Find your support group, someone you trust. Because, we all have our weaknesses. I guess you trust them to look. Good for you. That's awesome. All right.
So, I guess the last question is, are there any helpful hints that might help students pass your classes?
My class? Mm-hmm. Do your work. No, I'm just kidding. Do your work effectively. One thing I've noticed, and I don't know if it's just Redlands, I'm hoping that it's not just Redlands, but in entitlement, we've had a lot of students and I know this isn't just Redlands. I know I said Redlands, but it's not just. But a lot of students, they feel like, oh, I didn't do it the first time. I'll get a second chance, or I'll turn it in late because they've gone through from junior high to high school, pretty much saying, well, I didn't do it the first time or I didn't do it on time, but I've always had an extension, or I'll always get a second chance. And we do it. I like second chances. I think it's a great thing, but because you want them to learn the material. But there's a lot of students just don't do the work, and I don't get it. Effort, you can always put forth effort, and that's one thing. You don't have to have talent to put effort. But yeah, that was do your work effectively on time. That's how you're going to pass my class, really. I mean, out of all the classes that did not, the students that didn't pass my class, it's because they just failed to do the work.
Do you think it could have been because they just procrastinated too long? And
Yes.
They just thought,
I would say yes. I have, I've encountered a few lazy students, self-proclaimed lazy students. They admit they're lazy and that they do procrastinate. And I don't know, procrastination's not necessarily a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but it's hard balance, and I understand with college life. It's hard to balance time and friends and parties and everything that's going on, and priorities.
Parties.
What
Yeah,
parties?
All of us are like, what?
Yeah, parties.
No, of all the students, us three don't do
Okay.
any of that.
And I guarantee you get your work done on time, don't you?
For the most part, yeah.
No.
For the most
It's
part.
priorities, you're.
Kylie's face.
Yeah.
It's so red.
It's college,
Maybe
I
not.
understand, but they just, students need to know priorities. Where is their priorities right now? So
That's hard for me even now. I mean, I'm always trying to find the priorities and procrastination. I know that I do that, and it's hard to just take that. I mean, I guess the first step is always the hardest, and once you get that, just start writing, it's done. It's just that first.
Yeah,
that first
it's
effort.
getting started.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
it
once,
is.
once you get started, I feel like I can get an assignment done. Like, it's not difficult. It's just I usually wait way too long. I don't necessarily wait till the last minute, but if I have an assignment that's I have for 2 weeks, I don't do it until the last 3 or 4 days.
One thing I tell my students with procrastination is allow yourself per 500 words. So say if it's a 500-word essay, which that's too little, but you need to give yourself a week. If it's 750 to 1,000, you need to give yourself 2 weeks. It might take you only 1 day to write it, but then you got to put it aside for a little bit. Go back to it now, revise and edit, proofread, do all that stuff. Then put it away again, and then bring it back and look at it. Because you're going to find mistakes every time. And then by the time that 2 weeks is done, you've done the writing process. Don't wait till, you have 2 weeks because it's a 1,000-word paper. I got 2 weeks. I'm going to wait 13 days, and now I'm going to start. So I try to teach, and hopefully they understand that it is a process. You got to give yourself time. And we usually go by I like to 500 word, a week per 500 words. So right now they're doing a research paper. It's a lot more than that. So hopefully they've given themselves a little bit longer because it's due in 2 weeks. So those that are listening, you have 2 weeks from today. So hopefully they've been working on it.
Yeah. That's a good tip. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to use that.
It's about a week for every 500 words. Just to allow yourself some time. So.
All right. Do you guys have any questions for...
No, I'm just
Shoot.
I'm like that was
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was good.
Got a lot of information for that. That's really good.
Well, it's an interview. Anything else in personal life? I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Let's move on. Favorite group? What? It's good.
Okay. All right. So part two. The question that I have for you guys is this: is technology